Okay, this little video is going to be kind of a guide to show you how to get a, well, pretty much a 30-year-old vehicle, or any vehicle for that matter. This is the same stuff you'll check on even a new car. Some stuff you can't check on a new car, they won't allow you to, but this is kind of going to be a guide of how to get a vehicle ready for a road trip. If you're going on a long road trip, you know, you need to check out a few things. Okay, let's get started. And pull it back out. Alrighty. Oil's a little dirty. It's about time for a change. That's something you check, is you check your, it's not that bad. You want it to be in this area, preferably up toward the top. Keep it up toward the top here. And another thing, if you're getting ready to go on a road trip that, let's say your road trip is 500 miles away, that is going to mean that you're going to be putting at least 1,000 miles on your vehicle, because, you know, 500 there, 500 back, that's 1,000 miles. If you're within 1,000 miles of your oil change interval, go ahead and change it before you leave. That way you've already got that taken care of. Okay, something else you need to check your brake fluid. You can see a little dark line around here. That's your level of brake fluid in these. Now, like on an older truck like old Green, you got to take the top off visually and look down in there and make sure you have plenty of fluid. On this one, you can see through the side, and you can see that it is nowhere near the minimum amount. Okay. Your power steering fluid is right here. See if you can see that. The level comes all the way up to where it's hot, because it's been running a little bit. If your engine is hot, or you have had it running for a long time, yeah, don't take that off, because it will burn you. Now this one is kind of warm, but I already took the radiator cap off and let all the pressure out, but I still need to rag because it is a little warm. Okay. Now, if you can see down in there, which you can't, pull you off of your little perch here, there is the antifreeze right here. You can see it. That's what you want to see. You don't want to look down in there and see a bunch of fins sticking up, because that's the top of the radiator. You want to see a good amount of antifreeze, and it needs to be green like that. And if you're going to a place where it's going to be freezing temperatures, you can get a little tester. It just dips down in there. You can suck out. You can suck up a little bit of that antifreeze into the little tube, and however many of the little balls float, that tells you what the freezing point is, and you just adjust accordingly. This one's good. It's pretty much just a 50-50 mixture of antifreeze and water. Okay, next we have the air filter. The air filter lives in this little box right here. You can see I've already took these loose, and yours may be different. Yours probably is different. A lot of them have an air filter on top of the engine, a round air filter, but modern ones most of the time have these little cartridge filters like this. Guess that went all the way out. It was that one. Okay, you take the filter out. This one could be replaced, but I blew it out. It doesn't have any particles on the inside, as you can see, and it's really not that bad. I'm still going to end up replacing this, but if you have any doubt about it, go ahead and just replace it. They're pretty cheap. But that one will be fine. This one would probably be fine on a trip. I went ahead and blew it out a while ago. Now, you need to tighten everything back up. And I'm going to do that off camera, because I'm sure you've seen people use screwdrivers before. Yeah, you reach down in here. You're just going off a feel because you can't see it. And you pull that out. And it'll look low right now. But now what you want to see is you want to see like a red color on that. It looks low. It's not low because the engine is not running. But what you will do is you'll have the engine running, and you will, hopefully I can get it back down in there. I know it come out of there. Yeah, there it is. Don't know why they made this so hard to check, but they did. What you will do, you would pull it out, wipe it off, and then with the engine idling in neutral, just read on your dipstick. It tells you what conditions you need to check under. This one, I think it is idling in neutral, crosshatch area. You should always check your belt, which here's the belt. It's down in there, so you can't really see it great, but you'll look at the, this actually is a pretty new belt. You can tell that it's still got the words are not even wore off of it yet. But down here there are little ridges. Let me see if I can find another belt. Okay, this is a belt like what you would find like on Old Green. It's a different type of belt, but same principle. You see these cracks? This belt would not last long at all. If you see any cracks like that or rips like this or anything, replace that belt. And one way, if you look at the belt and you don't see any cracks, try maybe bending it a little bit. See if you can see a crack form, because sometimes they'll kind of hide themselves like that and you won't see them. But if you bend it, sometimes you can just push on it a little bit and you can see the cracks form. If you see cracks like that, need to replace it. That belt is not going to last. Something else is the radiator hoses. All the belts and hoses and stuff. Look at your hoses. Anything rubber like this can be prone to cracking or chafing. This one looks good. It doesn't have any cracks in it. This one too. This is your main radiator hose itself. So this blows. If this radiator hose blows, you are down, pretty much. Okay. Check your wiper blades. Make sure that they are not cracked or coming apart or anything. Wiper blade comes apart, not only can you not see, but you will scratch your windshield. You don't want to do that. You have to check your windshield. Make sure it's clean and you can see through it. It's not cracked. Same goes with the rest of the glass. Make sure, I mean, that window is actually covered, so you can't even see out of it anyway. But the mirrors, make sure your mirrors are clean. They are adjusted the way you want them. They're tight. Make sure everything is tight. Nothing's ready to fall off or something like that, you know. Make sure your doors are shut, you know, just stuff like that. Make sure everything is secure, because it can be a hazard to other motorists if something falls off your vehicle and they try to miss it, you know, and you will be liable for that. You'll have to check all your lights. You'll have to check your turn signals, your brake lights, your backup lights, your headlights, driving lights, everything. And one little hint, okay, if you don't have somebody to stand in front or in back to check your lights, all you have to do is find either a storefront that has a window or a car that's real shiny, you know, on the side. Pull up to it with your headlights and just look at the shiny paint, you know, and watch as you turn your headlights on. Go high, low beams, turn signals, then turn around, back up to it and look in your mirrors, and you can check your turn signals, brake lights, and everything in the back. That way one person can do that. You don't have to have somebody to necessarily help you. Sometimes, you know, I mean, sometimes you can just grab somebody, hey, can you help me for a minute? But sometimes you can't. Now, checking the tires, you know, I just drove through some mud, so I really don't want to get down there and waller in the mud, and I'm sure y'all can see it better this way anyhow. Okay, look at your tires, make sure, and for your spare, make sure that it is mounted good. Make sure everything is mounted good. Okay, to check your tire, the tread depth, you can take a penny, and as long as, see, they say that as long as you have enough tread to go up to the top of Abe Lincoln's head here, then you have enough tread legally. But I don't like to run them down that low. I like to see about what you see here. You know, you can see it's about up to his eyeball, you know, or the bottom of his ears, you know. That is plenty of tread. And like I said, if you see cracking on the side of your tire, or as you're driving, if you feel a wobble or anything, you need to put another tire on. You make sure your spare is inflated. You make sure you have a lug wrench. You have a device to take the hubcaps off. You know, like on this one. If you can't get that hubcap off, you're not changing that tire. Make sure you have a jack. Actually get in there and look at it, check, hold it in your hand. That way you know for sure that you got it. You know, check your tags. Make sure it is tagged. This one, it's tagged for the lifetime because it's got historic tags. But if you use stickers, you know, if you have to tag your vehicle every year, which most people do. If you got a 30-year-old vehicle like this and your state will allow it, the laws are different in different states. Like Kentucky, they don't care as long as you pay the taxes, which I paid $1.20 a year to run this van in taxes. So I don't have to tag it. But make sure that your stickers are good, your tags. Okay, now you're inside, and you are going to want to check all of your instrumentation. Okay, as you can see, it sets around the middle. Usually it's a little farther over this way, but when you are actually going, it might move up a little bit, but as it warms up more, it's set here long enough now to cool down, I'm sure. But as you can see, the charge gauge is in the middle. Coolant is still not showing. This van takes forever to warm up. But okay, now another thing, while you have the engine running, pull it in reverse. Okay, you should feel, I'd say you can see that shake a little bit on camera. You should feel the transmission engage immediately. It shouldn't take a minute for it to do it. But when you put it in gear, it should engage. Now you need to go from reverse to drive. You shouldn't hear, if you hear a clunk, you need to check your U-joints. But as you can hear, there is nothing. When it goes into gear, all you can hear is the transmission going into gear and it trying to move a little bit. You should drive, make sure that it shifts through the gears smoothly. You know, this is your test drive part, you know. You drive it, make sure everything shifts out good. It doesn't slip, it doesn't hesitate. When you feel that it's time for it to shift, it should shift, you know. Alrighty, I keep my insurance papers and my registration and all that kind of stuff inside of this old book. This had the owner's manual in it, and the owner's manual is in the door, but I keep all of my important papers. Now, you want to keep your insurance forms, your proof of identification, or proof of insurance, whatever you want to call it. You want to keep that handy. You want to keep your registration. This one doesn't have a registration. This one just has a proof that you paid your taxes on it, because there is no registration. If you have roadside assistance, make sure you have your roadside assistance card with you. Okay, something else you need to check. You need to look around. You need to see, okay, there is a bottle back there. That needs to be put in the trash, because that can roll underneath my brake pedal. It can roll up here and just startle me. Is that a mouse, or something like that? You need to make sure that you have everything picked up. You need to make sure that, like, the TV is clamped to the wall good. Everything is in place. All the doors, like the closet door, make sure it's latched. Make sure everything is secure. Nothing can move. Okay, you need to check your seat belt. Make sure it operates smoothly. You should have a first aid kit. You should have some sort of, it'd be a good idea to have some sort of fire suppression system. Like a fire extinguisher or something. Back to the instrument panel, make sure it's all clean. Make sure that everything works like it's supposed to. Okay, and no items rolling around in the floor up here. No loose floor mats that can bunch up and get caught underneath the brake or the gas. Or they could, it's possible for a floor mat to cause the gas pedal to get stuck to the floor, and then if you panic, you're in trouble. You should check your brakes when you hit your brakes. Do they feel firm? Is there any scraping noises? If there's a scraping noise, you need to have your brakes serviced. Like, you should go down a bumpy road. I have no problem with that because, I live up a creek, so I have no problem getting to a bumpy road. But as you're driving, listen to your front end, listen to your suspension, everything. See if you hear any rattles or any clunks or anything that feels like it's moving around that shouldn't be. Make sure that when you go to start your engine, make sure your engine starts in a timely manner. It doesn't take like 30 seconds of cranking to start. The engine should crank quickly. It shouldn't drag, because that's the indication that the battery is not good. Your oil pressure, everything should come up when it's supposed to. All this stuff is just pretty much, if you pay attention to your vehicle, you listen to what your vehicle is trying to tell you, you'll be fine. But that's how I prepare for a road trip. When I'm getting ready to go, I just check everything out and make sure you have everything that you need with you and have a safe trip without having to worry about your vehicle. I'm sorry if I've rambled. I probably have a lot. But I think this is some important stuff that should be gone over, and if everybody understands the concept of checking everything out, making sure everything's okay, and that doesn't mean necessarily that you're not going to break down 100%. A brand new vehicle off the lot can break down because there's so many things that can go wrong. But if you take these precautions, these preventative maintenance and all that, you'll probably be fine. I guess that's going to be my little video, and that's going to about do it. And thank you for watching. And if you're going on a trip, have a safe trip. And I'll see you next time.